Abu Bakr, who didn't rule for more than a little over 2 years, he decided to name a successor, because he was afraid that if he didn't name someone, the process can get messy, and it will be debated and can lead to violence. So he names Abu Bakr, but he consulted with a number of people, and almost all of them said to him, well, he's a good man, but he's harsh. Yeah? Being that, the way he behaves, he intimidates people, and so on. So if he's elected the leader, he will be overbearing. And Abu Bakr said, well, he behaves that way because I'm here. And the Prophet was there. But once he become a leader, he will change. So he named him anyway. And the people concurred, which means everyone took a bay'ah, except Ali, I'm pretty sure. And here is his inaugural address. He said that I will not exact any taxes or levies not authorized by law. 2, that all lawfully realized taxes will be spent in your best interest. 3, it is my duty to protect the frontiers of your lands. Guess what is missing? Expanding the frontiers, or attacking people, or expansion, and so on. He's simply talking about protecting the frontiers of your land, addressing to his people. It is my duty to promote your prosperity and look after your interests. And then he says, it is my obligation to do justice. So these are the main points he made. And those of you who may have gone to the web to read the little speech I made after Obama's inauguration, I said, well, Muslims are a student of history, and I quoted that hundreds of years before the American system, quoting Abu Bakr, and Washington said this. So there's a parallel. And after Umar, I said, and Jefferson said this. So there are parallels between the statements made by our founding fathers. Well, I'm kind of jumping in here because the title of Khalifa, they called Abu Bakr the Khalifa, or the successor to the Prophet. When they started calling Umar a Khalifa, he kind of ridiculed it. He said, it's crazy. Abu Bakr was the successor to the Prophet. So I'm the successor to Abu Bakr, who's the successor to the Prophet. So who's going to be the one who comes after me, the successor to the successor to the successor? It's ridiculous. So he says, I don't want to be called Khalifa. He actually rejected the title explicitly. Okay. I want to give you a quick summary of the kind of things that happened in his time without making it too long. He ruled for over 10 years, and he ended up being a superb administrator. He made many changes even in the way the tax is done. He divided agricultural lands into 3 kinds of lands. The ones that are irrigated by rain, the ones that are irrigated by by wells and the ones that are irrigated by river. So the more effort you put into it, the less tax you pay. But he also did a whole bunch of other things. So this is a very brief list of, if you wish, the firsts. And I think it's important to kind of go through this list. He established a treasury. Actually, this is the treasury, so it is room that you can call a treasury. He established courts, appointed judges, opened jails. So not everyone who's guilty of stuff, you can give them the harshest punishments. So if someone is drunk and they are addicted, well, whipping them with lashes is not going to change anything. So he said, well, if they're addicted, let's put them in jail and dry them up, in today's terminology. So jails were established. He instituted daily allowances of taking care of street kids. Muslims don't realize they were street kids at that time, as they are now. And he says, we need to take care of these street kids. And he also instituted to help the destitute Christians and Jews. That, not just Muslims need help, but there are poor among the Christians and Jews, and we have to help them. And he instituted allowances for them, some of them daily allowances. He conducted a census. How good it was, by modern standards, we don't know, but at least he attempted to count people. He built cities and established cantonments. What's the most famous city that we can say he built? Kufa, right? Kufa, he had people to find out what's a good place. It was going to be a military town. We have instructions from him as to how wide the main thoroughfares will be, how wide will be the avenues, how about the local streets, how many people from which tribes will be there and where they will be placed, and so on. All of that was from his instructions, and he appointed administrators and also actually sent a scholar to them. So he sent Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and said to them, well, we need him, but you need him more. So we are sacrificing to send him to you. And actually he asked that he... Did I do something? He said he wanted an annual report on how many people have memorized the Quran. So people were learning the Quran. I don't think I have it here, but there was war going on at more than one front, and he was appointing the generals, and he wanted daily reports from them. He issued instructions in writing, and he wanted daily reports. What do we know in the West? You give a message to a horseman, and he goes a certain miles and hands it over to the next one. What do we call that system? Pony Express. Well, Pony Express from Omer, maybe it existed before. So he was receiving daily reports from the fronts and issuing instructions. Divided the territories into provinces. And I probably stopped here. The people with whom you are at war, so they're belligerent nations, you don't permit anybody in. And he said, well, but for business, let the business people come in. So he permitted businessmen from belligerent nations to do business. Okay, so it kind of gives you an idea that this man who was supposed to be harsh ended up being a very capable administrator and actually considered to be the most effective administrator in the history of Muslims. What I didn't put in is that if, for judges, for instance, he established salaries that were more than the governors. The judges were appointed for life. So he wanted them paid enough and appoint them for life, so you couldn't pressure them and threaten them for removal or bribe them and corrupt them and so on. He removed commanders that disobeyed. So one of the most famous commander, Khalid, was removed because he disobeyed. And people were saying, what are you doing? He's the most successful commander we have. He says, he disobeyed and removed him. So I'm kind of summarizing. The choice of Abu Bakr and Umar was difficult, but Umar had difficulty recommending anyone, because now you had a broader field available. So he did what governments do. What did he do? He appointed a committee. And the people who put in the committee, I just kind of made a list. These are all the survivors from the 10 who were given the good news. The Ashara Mubashara. The Prophet had given these people the news that says, you will go to heaven. So Ali is on the list also. Uthman is on the list. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, Zubair. So these are all. So he said, okay, you guys are the committee. You decide who should be the successor. His son, I think, was on the committee, but he says, but you cannot choose him, cannot choose my son as the successor, so he disqualified him. Well, I kind of summarize by saying the committee named Uthman. It's a little more complicated because they didn't know how to choose. So one of the things is, well, whoever we choose has to follow the example of Abu Bakr and Umar. So they started asking, will you do this and will you do that? And Ali said no, and Uthman said yes. I mean, that was the main reason for Uthman being selected. So they selected Uthman. And I'm kind of jumping here because there's a lot more. He was assassinated actually by extremists from Egypt.